Okay, huge news out of the world of stock car racing today. NASCAR and 2311 Racing and Front Row Motorsports have reached a settlement in their ongoing antitrust lawsuit. So, I'll give my impression on it. So, first of all, I'm pleased with the fact that they settled. I mean, this lawsuit, has been going on for a really long time. It's been pretty contentious, and as somebody who's been watching the sport for a really long time, I don't like moments when there's controversy like this. It just doesn't sit right with me. I just want to be able to enjoy the racing. And now that this is out of the way, I can go back to that. I'm sure a lot of the fan base feels that way as well. So, just awesome that they settled. And as far as the settlement itself goes, so permanent charters were included. I've had mixed feelings on the charter system. So, when I first got into the sport, the charter system had already been around a couple years, so I didn't really know any of the details about when it first came around. I do like that it gives the teams value and makes them worth investing in. Don't love that it creates a barrier to entry in the Cup Series. And, recently I've been interested in like the O'Reilly Series and the Truck Series, where, teams, there have been a few teams in those series that have kind of, they've kind of started out modestly, but they've built themselves up to be pretty decent teams. Some even contending for race wins. And that can't really happen as much in the Cup Series now with the charter system. But I will say, if they're going to have a charter system, permanent charters is the right way to do it. Because it guarantees that these teams get to stay in the sport as long as they want. And it provides a lot of security for a lot of people involved. If 2311 and Front Row, when they lost their charters, during the year, it puts people in some tough positions, like team members, sponsors. There was even talk that Bubba Wallace and Tyler Reddick could leave. That would have been bad, and the timing couldn't have been worse for those guys either, because this was a down year as far as driver moves go. Really, the only major moves we saw were Suarez to Spire and Silage to the third trackhouse seat. So the permanent charters provides a lot of security. That's also a reason why I was not a huge fan of the teams going forward in this lawsuit. If I was the team owner, I probably would have just rolled with the punches. But we got something good out of it. So it all worked out. I'm happy about that. For people who want to come work for teams, these charter teams, they can stay around as long as they want. They probably don't have to worry about getting laid off unless they perform poorly. Sponsors, they can sign long-term deals with teams because they know they're going to be around. Or if an investment group wants to start a team, they'll have a lot to pay at first. But if they're guaranteed a permanent charter, then they have as much time as they want pretty much to, go build this team and get a lot of TV time for whatever sponsors they have. If a company, decides to start a team and sponsor the car themselves, like Haas does, they have a better environment to do it in now. And that's really big. I think that's really big. And it also, for teams that are in the sport now and are maybe interested in leaving in a few years, or at least changing hands, they can cash out. Like, I remember there was talk when BJ McLeod and Matt Tifft started Live Fast Motorsports in 2021, but then sold their charter to Spire in 2023. They made a lot of money off that sale. I think they might have made something like $30 million. That's a lot. That's huge for them. And I think it's worked out for them too, because they've still ran the car part-time in some cup races, and they've actually had some pretty decent runs here lately. I mean, Catherine Legg got a couple good runs out of the car at both the Chicago Street Race and the Brickyard. I believe BJ had a top 20 in the Summer Atlanta race. So not only are they more competitively on a part-time schedule, and even bringing in kind of a well-known driver in Legg, but they've also, Matt Tifft has actually kind of started to, I don't know, build more immediate presence. He bought a dirt track in Ohio. He's kind of revitalized that track too. So that worked out, and more of the same could happen. So, just all in all, this was a good deal. I think it hasn't led to any sale of tracks or anything else like that. Sport can continue to grow. I've heard there's kind of a push to go back to some of NASCAR's roots. We've seen some horsepower going up on the short tracks, combined with some of the things we've seen with the tires lately. Like, I honestly didn't think the short track races this year were too bad. I didn't. Aside from maybe the Spring Bristol, which I don't even think I watched. The short track races I feel like were pretty good. I mean, Richmond, I think we had a good race. Obviously, Bristol Light Race was crazy. Full Martinsville, I think, was good. So, yeah, they can continue to kind of improve on the racing product. The playoff format is now going to take center stage as probably the hot issue to debate right now. I don't really care what they do with that, honestly. I mean, the only format I've ever watched is the current one, so I'm not really in a place to judge. But I've seen full season points work in other series. Like, I'm a big World of Outlaws fan, and I'm into in the high limit Lucas Oil dirt late models. I guess they don't have full season points, but Lily Modified Tour, ARCA, those guys make it work. So, I mean, I'd be willing to see what that looks like for Cup, and O'Reilly and trucks as well. That can probably be the main focus. We'll see. It sounds like they might return to the Chase, which I think will be interesting. Like I said, I didn't really experience the Chase as a fan, but from what I hear, it was pretty well received. More well received than the current format, obviously, but that's not setting the bar high. It'll be interesting to see what they do there. Whether they go to full season points, whether they retain some kind of elimination style, whether they go to the Chase. We'll see. Lots up in the air with that. But the big thing out of the way now is that the sport can continue to build its legacy. We can continue to look forward to the schedule next year. We've got the Naval Base Coronado race. I think that is absolutely awesome that they're doing that. I mean, that's a very unique event that I'm not sure another motorsports series could do. So maybe the IndyCar could do it, but it seems as though NASCAR was kind of the first to think of it. I really think that's interesting. North Wilkesboro getting a points race. It's going to be at night. It's kind of a throwback. That's interesting, and it's a longer race too. That should be a fun one for some of the more traditional fans. Over as the All-Star race. I have mixed feelings on that. I mean, I like it because I might get to go, and I've never been to an All-Star race before, so that'll be cool. But, I mean, if it means that Dover is, if it means they're going to get rid of Dover, I don't want that. But, either way, that'll be interesting. There will be more horsepower. There hasn't been any confirmation, but, I mean, there have been rumors that they might do a kind of run what you brung deal with the car, which would be really interesting to see who adapts the most. So, yeah, we have some things to look forward to next year. Aside from just the traditional races like the, Daytona 500 and the other crown jewels. But, yeah, I mean, I'm really glad that they were able to settle this lawsuit so we can get back to what we love. That's the racing. Looking forward to enjoying my favorite sport next year. I'll try to continue with some videos in the off season here, and really just can't wait to see what we've got in store. And thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Got some stuff that I think y'all might like for the off season, so I'm looking forward to getting some of that out. And until next time, peace out.